All right, so I finally got to see Primitive War. I was going to go see this in theaters, but unfortunately they put it in as a Fathom event, and I typically don't go see those because I pay for AMC A-List, and if it doesn't go to A-List, I typically option to not see the film. Sometimes, if it's something I'm really interested in, I might cough up the extra cash, but that's not often. And plus, I knew nothing about this freaking movie. So, what is this? This is a movie that stars Ryan Quanten, Trisha Helfer from Battlestar Galactica. I think that's her name. I think that's her name. Her pronunciation of it, anyway. And Jeremy Piven. And this is set in 1968, Vietnam. And some soldiers that are referred to as Vulture Squad are sent in on some kind of top secret mission, and they encounter dinosaurs. There is a whole area in Vietnam that is littered with all sorts of dinosaurs. And yeah, they are in a fight for survival, not only against the soldiers that they happen across, but of course as well as the velociraptors and the T-Rex and all of the common dinosaurs that you see in these types of films. Now, this is going up against something like Jurassic World Rebirth, and I'll definitely tell you right now, this was better than Jurassic World Rebirth, which is kind of embarrassing, to be completely honest. That should not be the case. Gareth Edwards. Yeah, Gareth Edwards. I always mix up those two directors. Edwards from Rogue One and the creator. He had an insane budget, and he should have been able to pull out a better film. But what's interesting about this movie is that this is 100% a B movie, for sure. But it's like the Sci-Fi Channel type of film, a B movie plot on the Sci-Fi Channel. But if you were to give that production a bunch of money and actually competent actors, that's how it felt. It felt like I was watching like a bunch of actors that I'm familiar with and who are quite good, and putting them in these B movie roles and giving that director a bunch of money. It's kind of a rare experience. It's not something that you see very often, obviously. Like, movies like this don't get made. So this is kind of a rarity right here. This is a bit of a gem in that way, because movies like this, they usually have horrendous CGI because their budget is 2 nickels. And that is not the case here. Yes, is the dinosaur effects up to snuff against something like a Jurassic World? No, not always. But in a lot of scenes, yes. So there's some like distance shots where they're doing wides, and the composite work on the dinosaurs in the environment, they're not really working with the environment as well as they could. The way their feet are in the water and the way they are in the background, they're not really meshing with the environment the way they should. The physics are not really lining up exactly. But outside of that, a lot of the close-ups, which is what really matters, when you get a lot of like the T-Rex close-ups and all that stuff, it's good. It's really good. It's Jurassic World level. It's like, holy shit, this actually looks fucking phenomenal. Holy hell, where the hell did they get this budget? Now, as far as like the setting goes and all of that, this is kind of the very classic Vietnam setting with all of the typical hits that you would hear in any Vietnam movie. You already know what songs I'm talking about. They got all of the typical Vietnam style, Vietnam era music that's in every one of these movies, and they play over it. That's something that, while it might give it an authenticity in a way, or of nostalgia, that makes it feel in line with previous Vietnam style movies, I would have preferred them to just pick some different songs from that era. Like there was other songs that were popular or maybe not as popular, and they probably paid a pretty penny for them. So that was a little annoying, but at the same time, it was like, okay, this is very familiar. It's fine. As far as the characters go, I wouldn't say they're one dimensional, and I wouldn't say they're three dimensional. I'll go with two dimensional. I think that there is enough to them that they feel like they have some depth, but also it's a B movie, right? And sometimes we're just trying to get the plot moving, and we give them a little depth, but then we move on. We don't get into it too much. But some characters have pretty good arcs, and the plot, the premise of the film, like what it ends up being, with like the Russians and the super collider and all this stuff, it's like this feels genuinely out of a sci-fi movie, like a sci-fi channel style plot. That's why it was kind of funny watching this movie being like, this really is just a big budget sci-fi film. But yeah, I mean, that was unexpected because of how good it looked and how good the acting can be. Some of the acting is hammy. I actually think Jeremy Piven is not very good in this. I think he hams it up a little too much. Like maybe he didn't get the memo that they were going a little more serious with this. I think he thought like, oh, it's a dinosaur movie that's lower budgeted than a big blockbuster. So, I'm gonna kind of meet the sci-fi tone of things. And I don't know. I didn't like it. He was just a little overacty. And then Trisha Helfer, if that's how you say her name, I think it is. She's doing a Russian accent. I don't know this actress outside of Battlestar Galactica, so I don't know what it is. But yeah, I mean, she's doing her best with it. And then yeah, I mean, I dug some of the characters. This is a 2 hour and like 20-minute movie. It's a lot longer than you would expect. But there's some pretty rad stuff going on in here for sure. You've got a good amount of vicious kills, a lot of dinosaurs ripping people apart, right? Like that's one thing that's missing from the Jurassic franchise that they can't ever seem to do because of the obvious PG-13 limitations. And everybody wants to see a dinosaur movie where the dinosaurs chomp on people and rip them apart, and we get to see it on screen. Not something we get to see very often, because a movie that has to have a budget high enough to be able to put dinosaurs on the screen and make them look good can't afford to make them look good, because the audience that they be catering to is too small. So as I said, this is a very rare example of a big dinosaur epic type of film that can go R-rated, and they do. I mean, they definitely deliver on a good amount of good graphic kills. Now it's blood splatter, that's CGI, and a lot of it is, or if not all of it, is CGI gore. So that's an unfortunate aspect of the film. I would say all of the effects in the film, for the most part, are, CG, but it's okay. Like, I accepted it as it continued. I was just like, okay, I'm not going to get any practical effects in this. Not any that I could see. But I was so enamored by kind of the big, grand feel of it. It kind of felt like Overlord, if Overlord was set in Vietnam and it was dinosaurs instead of zombies. That's kind of what it felt like in a way, but a little downgrade, a little more B movie than that. So that'd probably be my best comparison, because that's the last film for me that came out that was like this. That got a huge budget and it felt more like a B movie. Overlord's better, but this was still pretty damn good. And then also, I remember, it is the kind of updated accuracy on the dinosaurs. I was actually pretty surprised to see this included in the movie, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like, this was pretty cool. So in recent years, since the release of Jurassic Park, which is the most famous dinosaur movie by far, they have new evidence to suggest that they have kind of, depicted dinosaurs incorrectly in some of the species, at least. And that something like a raptor was covered in feathers and had more like wing-like structures to their to their arms, and they're much more bird-like than something like the more like reptilian style that we get in the Jurassic Park movies. Now I love Jurassic Park, and I love the raptors in that movie, and they're iconic and they're cool as fuck, and I don't care if they're accurate or not. But this one actually does full feathered, fully like more updated raptors and such. Like other dinosaurs in here as well are more updated to what they think they might have looked like. So I thought that was really cool. I was like, that's neat to throw that in, to kind of change with the science, so to speak. So good on them for that. And yeah, I me's a pretty bare bones kind of story. I kind of gave you everything already. There's not a lot more to get out of the film than that, and there's a lot of like silly things. And towards the end, there's this whole showdown with like raptors and T-Rexes and shit that are at the end, and you're just sitting there like, there's no way and they could survive this. This is absurd. But whatever, it's fun, it's ridiculous, it's meant to be insane. But man, there was some really good looking scenes with raptors and T-Rex, especially. But there's all sorts of different dinosaurs. Brachiosaurus to Triceratops, freaking pterodactyls or whatever the other winged ones are called. And there Spinosauruses, I think, were in here, and a bunch of other shit. So lots of dinosaurs to be seen, lots of dinosaur action. It takes a little while to get to them. I would actually watch this again. I would actually own this. I think this is a really cool movie that I wish I would have gotten to see on the big screen. I wish that this would have went A-list, because this is a big movie that would have benefited from seeing it on a large screen. So damn, if you missed this in theaters, I wouldn't be I wouldn't blame you for missing out on this one, because I'm sure that you thought this was probably absolutely absurd. But if you are interested in that premise at all, it delivers on it pretty well. I mean, it still kind of sticks to its B-movie roots, but it also delivers on the action, the chaos. So, thumbs up. Pretty damn cool movie. I kind of figured that was gonna be the case, because of the 6 point something rating on IMDb that it had, especially after it came out in theaters. It was like in the 7s for a while, and I was like, what? This is crazy. And I read all the reviews, and I was like, oh shit, I guess I should have saw that in theaters. But I was, you never know. And having watched Red Sonja, which I did not cover on the channel because I just felt like I didn't justify it enough to cover it on the channel, I really wanted to like Red Sonja. I really wanted to go into it because it's the same people who did Hellboy, The Crooked Man, which I really liked and was defending, and was like, this is a cool B movie. I think this is actually much better than people are saying, and a lot of people agreed with me. But of course, a lot of people disagreed with me too. And I was hoping that Red Sonja would be like that. And when it got straight to VOD, that was a movie I thought was going to be big. Back when Robert Rodriguez was directing it, I was like, oh, this could be really cool. We haven't seen anything since the Bridget Nielsen movie. This could be a badass, re-adaptation of those classic comic books. But, man, it was bad. And shockingly, the Vietnam dinosaur movie ended up being the one that went to the big screen and far surpassed something like a Red Sonja. So definitely check this out. Definitely watch it if it sounds interesting to you at all. I think it'll surprise you. I think you'll be pretty shocked at how high quality this can be at times, while keeping in mind that it's a B movie. That's it. All right. I'm not going to keep reiterating myself, but those are my thoughts. Primitive War. It's available to get right now at home. Check it out. Let me know. Adios.